Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Wanderlust Wednesdays. This is the weekly webinar series in which we take you on fantastic voyages all around the world. My name is Lori Overton. I am the owner of Overton Travel, and I am your host for this webinar series. And today you're in for a treat. Every week is a treat, but this is a special treat today. Today, we are taking you to the beautiful state of Arizona. Arizona happens to be the home of the Grand Canyon. So it's most famous for the Grand Canyon, but there's so many other things in Arizona, and we're going to tell you about those as well. So before we get started, I just want to go over a couple of housekeeping notes for those of you who are new to our webinar. The format of the presentation today is a webinar format, which is slightly different than a meeting format. That means that you can see me and you can see the other presenters, you can see our screens, but we cannot see you or hear you at all. So the only way that you can communicate with us is through the chat button and the Q&A. So what I ask that you do is that if you have any questions, at the bottom of your screen should be something that says Q&A. Put all of your questions that you have throughout the presentation in the Q&A section at the bottom. And our moderator for today is Donna, and Donna will go through all of your questions at the end of the presentation. In the chat box, you can use the chat box to chat amongst each other, say hi to your friends that come to the webinars each week, and also just make generic comments as well. So we are going to, I have something new that I'm going to try today. Oh, I have a poll. So before I introduce our speaker, let me see if I can do this right. For those of you who are on, I want to ask, how many of you have been to Arizona or the Grand Canyon before? So I'll give you a minute to respond. Looks like it's working. We're always trying out something new here at Overton Travel. Yeah, I see the responses are coming in. And I see someone that has raised their hand. So we cannot activate you if you raise your hand. If you would just click on the poll, put your answer in the poll or put your question in the Q&A section. All right. So looks like we got pretty nice responses here. So it looks like 40% of you have been and 60% haven't. So more than half of you have never been to Arizona, the Grand Canyon. So, all right. So this is some good information. So I'm going to end the poll now, and I'm going to close that. That worked. So today I'm going to introduce our speaker. Our speaker is Joanna Tejada, and she is from Arizona Tourism, and I'm going to turn this over to her. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and then I'm going to ask Joanna to remove herself from mute, and she can start sharing her screen, and then I will give the floor to Joanna.
Hi, everyone. I'm very happy to be here. Thank you for joining us on this webinar. I'm going to go ahead and do an overview of Arizona. I mean, like the poll said, many of you have been to Arizona, but you might learn something new today. And for those that haven't been, I mean, I hope this is very helpful and inspires you to travel to Arizona, hopefully very soon. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can start the presentation. Okay, are you able to see? Let me see.
Yep, I can see your screen, and if you can.
This works. Let me turn it over to slideshow. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna just go ahead and turn off my video for a minute and go ahead and go over the presentation.
Joanna, you're on mute. You need to unmute yourself.
I'm sorry about that.
Okay, all right.
All right.
Okay, now you can start from the beginning.
So we can go ahead and get started. All right, so you can We're gonna go ahead and get started with where Arizona is located. I mean, many of you are familiar with the state, but some of you may not be. Arizona, as you can see on this map, is west of New Mexico, south of Utah, and east of California. You can also see here we have how to get to Arizona. There's daily nonstop services from various carriers from the gateway cities noted here. And we have a nonstop daily flight from JFK to Phoenix. And that's about a five-hour flight. So Arizona is broken down into 5 regions, as you can see here on the slide. Once you arrive in Arizona, you can explore the main 5 regions in the state, which are Northern Arizona, Northern Central Arizona, Phoenix and Central Arizona, West Coast, and Tucson and Southern Arizona. There's tons of adventure in our state. Arizona has 22 national parks and monuments, 6 national forests, 35 state parks, and 22 sovereign American Indian communities. The outdoor activities are endless with hiking, biking, kayaking, whitewater rafting, bouldering, cultural experiences, etc. For tourism experiences, Arizona focuses on the 4 pillars noted on the slide. Those are culinary, adventure, heritage and culture, and wellness. There's truly something for everyone here in Arizona. So we're going to start our journey through the state with the northern part of the state. Some of the places that we're going to talk about are Monument Valley, Antelope Canyon, the Grand Canyon, of course, Williams, and Flagstaff. So let's get started. Monument Valley is located in the Utah-Arizona border. And there's tons of outdoor adventure options here, such as jeep tours, horseback rides, hiking, and of course, cultural experiences. This is on Navajo Nation. All activities here can be arranged through 2 properties in the area, that it's Golding's Resort and the View Hotel. A tribal guide is required for hiking and permits are also required. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move along. So now we get to Canyon de Chelly. This is located in the northeastern Arizona on the Navajo Nation. Canyon de Chelly is known for its rugged beauty, history, and Navajo culture. The 84,000-acre monument sits on an elevation of 5,500 feet and showcases impressive ancient ruins built into the steep sandstone canyons. There's a lot of things you can do here. There's different tours you can take. You can take rim drives, so you can do North Rim and South Rim above the canyon and hike to the White House ruins. And you can see that picture here on the bottom left. And you can go ahead and go to the White House overlook, which is, this tour is about a 2-hour round trip. You can do canyon tours. Fees are required and you must hire an authorized guide to hike and horseback. Tours require a backcountry permit and authorized guides as well. You can also do camping, which it requires a fee as well. You can camp at Cottonwood campground and it's a first come first served basis. And you can also do guided jeep tours. They depart daily from the Thunderbird Lodge, which is located in Chelly. So now we get to Page. Page is the center of Arizona's canyon country, and it's home to Antelope Canyon and Horseshoe Bend. And you can see them on the pictures. Antelope Canyon is the one with the yellows and oranges. It's truly a beautiful canyon, and it's one of the most photographed canyons in the world. Entry to Antelope Canyon is restricted, so you can only do it through a Navajo guided tour. And Horseshoe Bend, there's no guide required, but it's self-guided, no fees for entry, and it's just parking fees. So now we move along to the Grand Canyon. Arizona is known as the Grand Canyon state, and this is easily the most recognizable attraction in the state. The Grand Canyon is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, and like I said, it's Arizona's most distinguishable landmark. It is 1 mile deep, 277 miles long, and 80 miles wide. The entrance to the south rim is from the town of Tucson, and the entrance for the east rim is through the town of Cameron. And Tucson is about, just to give you an idea, it's about 3.5 hours away from drive from Phoenix. The Grand Canyon National Park provides experiences from a few hours to a few days, including motorized tours, scenic drives, hiking trails, guided hiking tours, camping, shopping, whitewater rafting, dining, and lodging. But it is recommended to book accommodations 1 year in advance, as it can be, especially in the very busy season, which is the summertime. Permits for camping and hiking overnight are required, and they cost about $10. Williams, Flagstaff, and Sedona are the nearest town to the Grand Canyon, and people often stay here and drive to the canyon for the day. So now we get to Grand Canyon West. Often people confuse Grand Canyon West with Grand Canyon National Park. Grand Canyon West is not a national park, and it's located on the Wallapai tribal land, and they owned Grand Canyon West. This area offers features not available at the south or north rims, such as the skywalk, as you can see in the slide in the picture, zip lining, horseback riding, and whitewater rafting. Visitors are required to purchase a general admission day pass, and Grand Canyon West is typically open daily from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. Now we move along to Flagstaff. Flagstaff is Arizona's winter playground. I bet you didn't know, or maybe you didn't guess that. Usually people associate Arizona with the desert, and then when we tell people we have snow, they're usually very surprised. So Flagstaff is known as Arizona's winter playground, and it's the highest elevated city in our state. It's home to the Snow Bowl, where you can practice skiing and snowboarding. It was also the first city, the first World City International Dark Sky, a designation awarded by the International Dark Sky Association. It is also known for its lunar legacy, as many milestones occurred in Flagstaff area, including astronaut science training, instrument development, and lunar mapping. Flagstaff is 80 minutes from the Grand Canyon, and it's a 2-hour and 20-minute drive from Phoenix. Our final city here in the north is Williams. It is known as the gateway to the Grand Canyon. Route 66 history buffs can explore more than 6 blocks of historic buildings and shop full of memorabilia. In Williams, you can check out Arizona, which is a fun, interactive drive-through wildlife park. One of the main attractions here is the Grand Canyon Railway, which departs daily and has been in operation since 1901. This old-timey train ride includes authentic characters and musicians who bring the Old West to life. And now here I want to show you, now that we talked about the northern part of the state, I just wanted to show you a really quick draft itinerary if you were interested in taking a trip from Phoenix up to the northern part, visit the Grand Canyon, obviously. So you can see here, you can start day 1, you would start from Phoenix, then going up to Flagstaff, which is about roughly a 2-hour drive. It's not bad at all. From Flagstaff, you can move to Williams. Then on day 2, you would go from Williams to the Grand Canyon, Williams is one of the closest cities there to the Grand Canyon. Then going back from the Grand Canyon to Williams on day 3. If you move along for day 4, you would go from Williams to Page, which is home, like I mentioned before, to the Antelope Canyon and Horseshoe Bend. From Page, you could move along to Monument Valley. And then from Monument Valley, you would go to Chelly, where Canyon de Chelly is located, where you can take several tours. Then from Chelly, you could go down to Sedona, which I'm going to talk about Sedona in a little bit. And then going back, ending your trip from Sedona, going to Phoenix, which is, again, like roughly a 2-hour drive. Okay, so now we move to north central Arizona, and we're going to talk here about Sedona, Cottonwood, and Prescott. Sedona is best known for its iconic red rocks, as you can see here on the pictures, and great adventures such as hiking, mountain biking, and pink jeep tours. It is also known for wellness. One of the main draws is the Vortex meditation sites. It has a vibrant arts community, and it's only 30 minutes from the Verde Valley and Cottonwood, which is a very popular wine region here in Arizona. So Cottonwood is located, like I said, about 30 minutes from Sedona, and it's home to the Verde Valley Wine Trail. Other attractions here include the Verde Canyon Railroad, which takes you near Sedona. Then you have Blazing M Ranch, which provides tons of activities and an Old West experience. Then you can also check out Out of Africa Wildlife Park. Prescott is located just 90 minutes north of Phoenix. It makes for a great day trip. It is home to the world's oldest rodeo, which was established in 1888. The city's natural surroundings include more than 400 miles of hiking, mountain hiking, and hiking trails. And it also, the Prescott downtown area is very unique and very historic. We move along to Phoenix and Central, where we're gonna visit Phoenix, Scottsdale, Mesa, and Tempe. Phoenix is the 5th largest city in the US, and it's home to the Sky Harbor International Airport, which is the largest airport in Arizona. The Greater Phoenix area has over 200 golf courses, and it has the largest concentration of luxury 4 to 5 stars resorts in North America. Downtown Phoenix has close to 120 independently owned restaurants, 2 of which are James Beard Award winners. Some of the top attractions here include the Musical Instrument Museum, known as the MIM, which is one of my favorites. You can see a picture here on the slide. The Heard Museum, which is also a place to go and visit for Native American arts, and the Desert Botanical Garden. We move along to Scottsdale. Scottsdale is located on the east side of Greater Phoenix Valley. There are over 70 hotels and resorts, many rated 4 and 5 stars. Scottsdale is home to 6 world-class museums and more than 150 art galleries. You will find hundreds of restaurants and 6 wine tasting rooms featuring Arizona wine. There's 215 miles of multi-use trails in the McDowell Sonoran Preserve, the largest urban preserve in the United States. And its downtown, which is known as Old Town Scottsdale, is very vibrant, unique, and it has walkable districts that serves as the city's hub for the arts and culture, dining, nightlife, and high-end shopping. Mesa is located just 15 miles east of Phoenix and is the third largest city in Arizona. Key activities here include paddleboarding on the Saguaro Lake, kayaking on the Salt River, horseback riding, mountain biking, the Fresh Foodie Trail and agritourism, goat yoga, and exploring part of the Apache Trail, which includes the Goldfield Ghost Town and the Superstition Mountain Museum. So we move along to the Tucson and Southern Arizona area, where we're gonna go ahead and talk about Tucson, Tubac, Bisbee, and Tombstone. Tucson was the first UNESCO City of Gastronomy. This designation was awarded to them due to their more than 4,000 years of history. You can really find in their gastronomy influences from Native Americans and also from Mexico, since it's so close to Mexico. It's only about 60 miles from Tucson. Visitors to Tucson can enjoy world famous guest ranches, horseback rides, cattle drives, but also beautiful spas, golf courses, and hotels. Major attractions in this area include Saguaro National Park, Karchner Caverns, and the Mission of San Javier del Bac. So continuing along with Southern Arizona, the three biggest regions here include Bisbee, Tombstone, and Sonoita and Wilcox. Bisbee is one of the richest mineral sites in the world. People would mine for gold, copper, silver, and zinc. If you're looking for something historic and immersive, there's a lot of great ghost tours and mine tours to pick up from here. Then we have Tombstone. Tombstone is known for its Wild West history, and tourists love to flood into the town's saloons, restaurants, and shops. This is the site of the OK Corral gunfight, the most famous shootout in the history between Wyatt Earp and Doc Holliday. Then we move along to Sonoita and Wilcox, which they are located in the heart of Arizona's wine country. Wilcox alone produces over 70% of wine grapes for the entire state. Here you can enjoy historic ranches, tons of wildlife, and of course, great wine. We move along to the West Coast, which is the final region we're going to explore, and we're going to go ahead and talk about Lake Havasu City and Yuma. Lake Havasu City is located about 3-hour drive from Phoenix and 2.5-hour drive south of Las Vegas. It is known for water sports and houseboating. The Hot Air Balloon Festival is a very popular event in the area, and it's home to the London Bridge. We move along to Yuma, which is located between Phoenix and San Diego. Yuma offers great outdoor adventures, sand dunes, historic sites, and an abundance of local cuisine, accommodations, and amenities. One of the best known historic attractions in this area is the Territorial Prison, considered one of the most haunted destinations in the country. And finally, Kingman is about an hour and 45-minute drive from Las Vegas, and is considered a perfect launching point for Route 66 road trips, as well as for day trips to bucket list stops in Arizona, such as the Grand Canyon. All right, well, this was our overview of Arizona, and I hope you enjoyed it. And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Great. Thank you, Joanna, for that presentation. It was very informative. I have my notebook here full of notes of all the good information that you gave us. So if you could stop sharing your screen right now, then I'll have Donna take us into the Q&A section of the call.
All righty, ladies. The first question is, what are the Native American tribes in Arizona?
I'm sorry, what was the question? I wasn't able to hear that well.
What are the Native American tribes in Arizona?
So there are 22 American Native tribes. Some of them are, I don't have all the names of all 22, but some of them are Navajo, Hopi, Wallapai tribe. So there's plenty more, but we can provide the names of the rest of the American Indian tribes.
Okay.
And just so I can interject, and some of the tribes do offer like day tours of
Yes.
their areas. Okay.
So for example, I think the most popular one and the one that's more open to tourism is Navajo Nation, and that's where Monument Valley is located. So you can book several tours through the two properties that were mentioned, Golding's Resort and the View Resort, and they will take you to, there's several experiences. I mean, you can really immerse yourself into the Navajo culture. One of the tours includes visiting a hogan and experiencing the daily life of the Navajo tribe, which is an extraordinary experience.
That's something on my list of things that I like to do.
Yes.
We know that Arizona has hot summers. So what is the safest and coolest travel time to visit Arizona?
Okay, I'm having a little bit of trouble hearing that. Could you repeat the question?
What is the safest and coolest time to visit Arizona?
I would recommend visiting, depending on the area. I mean, like I said, the state is divided in regions, and some of the regions are in high season while the others might be in low season. But I would recommend visiting Arizona during springtime, which is, the months of April, March, April. The weather here in the Phoenix metro area, it's beautiful. It's about 70 degrees. It's not hot yet, like in the summer, but it's not cold either. So I would recommend visiting the spring. But like I said, it depends the attractions that you're visiting. For example, if you go to the Grand Canyon, the busiest time is the summertime. It's hotter, it's more crowded. If you're looking to have the canyon more to yourself with less crowds, I would recommend visiting in the fall or early in the winter.
When is it cool for easy walking and outdoor activity? Is that going to be about the same as the other question?
Yeah, so for like a lot of walking, the springtime is the best time, because in summertime, the temperatures can rise quite a bit. So it's a little bit harder to do outdoor or just walking around downtown areas.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was considering like late March to go there, something like that. Like you said,
that would be perfect weather.
Yeah, before it gets too hot, and before the crowds come in.
So
yeah.
The Phoenix metro area will be a little bit more crowded during the spring, because we have spring training, so a lot of people from different states come. But if you go up north, if you're planning to visit the Grand Canyon, you will find less crowds. It will be a little bit cooler because temperatures in the northern, because of the higher elevation, are cooler, but it would still be really great weather.
Okay.
Good.
All right. Ms. Beverly says that you said there's a part just over the Grand Canyon that's not open. She doesn't remember the exact name.
Is she talking about the North Rim, or?
She's talking about the north rim that juts out. You know how you have the glass.
That's Grand Canyon. The Skywalk is in Grand Canyon West.
Yes.
Which is not part of the national park.
Yeah, but it is. The question is that still open?
Yes, it's still open.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any specific African American historical sites or attractions in Arizona?
It's a great question. I am not very sure. I don't want to give you an incorrect answer, but that's something that I can definitely look into and then pass the information along to Lori, and we can go ahead and post it. Yeah.
Okay. Where's the wine tasting?
Wine tastings, there's 3 different regions in Arizona. So you have, like I mentioned in the presentation, the Sonoita Wilcox area, which is where a lot of the vineyards are located. So there's several tasting rooms there. But if you move along to the northern part of the state, where you have the Verde Valley, that's where a lot of the tasting rooms are concentrated. So you can find some in Sedona, Cottonwood, in the downtown area. It's a very small downtown, but you can find more than 10 tasting rooms there. So that area in the northern part of the state, Sedona, Cottonwood, you have a lot of your tasting rooms there. You can also find tasting rooms here in the Phoenix metro area, especially in Scottsdale. So there's 3 regions depending on where you are. You can find tasting rooms in the south, here in the Phoenix metro area, and in northern Arizona.
So are a lot of it's really interesting. I have never had Arizona wine.
I know.
So is most of Arizona wine consumed within Arizona? I mean, there's not even a section. I don't even think I've seen a section of it in the wine shops around here. Usually California wines you'll see, or New York wines, of course, but I've never seen Arizona wine. Yeah.
So it comes to surprise to a lot of people when we say, oh, we have wine, and everyone, like, we blow people's minds because people think that how can you grow grapes in the desert? But the diversity of the land here, I mean, in the southern, you can grow grapes. So that's why most of the grapes are grown in Sonoita and Wilcox. We're doing a lot of promotion about talking about Arizona wine. It is mostly sold here in the state, but several winemakers do distribute to other states here in the United States. But it's mostly consumed here. But we're trying to
Just to promote it more nationally.
Yeah, promote it so people know about it. So when they come here and visit, they can do wine tastings. There's amazing tours of the vineyards. There's one tour in particular that it's great. You do a kayak tour of the Verde River, which is in northern Arizona, and then you finish off in a vineyard and you can do a wine tasting. So that tour is called Water to Wine, which is great.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah.
Okay, how long a stay, and what's a typical itinerary for folks who love history, food, and relaxation?
For folks who like, can you repeat that last part?
Who love history, food, and relaxation.
I would recommend, if you're going to visit, at least a week, at least 5 days, because you can fly into Phoenix, the Phoenix metro area, and there's really tons of like day trips you can take. I mean, you can select Phoenix as your hub city. I mean, you can stay here, but then you can take a trip if you want to go down to Tucson, which is the first city of gastronomy. I mean, it has great culinary history. You can take down a road trip to Tucson. It's only 1.5 hour drive. Or you can go up to Sedona, which is 2 hours, or go up to Flagstaff, which is also 2 hours. Prescott is only 90 minutes. So there's really a lot of things that you can do because you can easily move around from Phoenix to other parts of the state. So I would recommend at least 7 days, because really there you won't run out of things to do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was envisioning a trip where we would, start and end in Phoenix.
Mm-hmm.
Spend a couple days in Phoenix, hit some of the museums there,
Yeah,
as well as the culinary things, and then maybe it's only an hour to Tucson, so if that's known for gastronomy, we can go there and have some great meals in Tucson,
exactly.
and then head up north. Sedona is beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the relaxing would come in.
Exactly.
It's known for spas. The Red Rocks are known for spirituality.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think also while we're in Sedona, then there's an easy day trip to the Grand Canyon.
Grand Canyon.
And there's also easy day trips to the Navajo Nation,
yes.
To visit them, and then as well as the Cottonwood for the wineries as well.
Exactly. So from Sedona, you can move to Cottonwood, which is just 30 minutes away, and you can visit the tasting rooms there.
Mm-hmm.
It's amazing. You can also find some tasting rooms in Sedona, but Cottonwood has a more concentration of them. So yeah, I mean, that's a great itinerary right there.
So we can base in like Phoenix for a couple days, based in like the Sedona area a couple days, and then while we're there, we can do day trips from those bases, so we don't have to like change hotels too often, but still get
exactly. You would just stay in one place, and it's close enough that you can go back and forth, and you can go back and do just a day trip.
Okay. Right. Oh, sounds good.
Yeah.
I know quite a few of us were asking about whether or not there were some museums for African American culture. Actually, the George Washington Carver Museum and Cultural Center is located in Phoenix, Arizona. So for those of you that are wanting to go, there is a museum there called the George Washington Carver Museum and Cultural Center. It's located in Phoenix, Arizona.
Great. See, I learned something as well.
Joanna, can you show the picture of the skywalk again?
Sure. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and
That's a question that somebody wants to see the skywalk again.
Sure. I'm going to share my screen and get to that. Let's see if I can get to that slide. Okay, here we go. Oops. sorry, my computer is a little bit.
Yep,
Are you able to see it
Yep.
from here?
Yep. And
Yep.
if you could just make it bigger.
Yes, let me make it bigger.
That's so
There we
pretty.
go.
There you go.
So it's right here on this side.
That's so pretty.
So let me know if you guys want to do that. Are you? It looks beautiful. Yeah.
I've been there, and it's an amazing view.
Is it scary? And are you?
You know, it depends on the person, but yeah, if you look down on the glass, it could be a little bit scary, but it's not bad at all. It's just it's a beautiful view from the canyon. Yeah, very interesting. And there's other, I mean, you can visit the skywalk, and then right next to it, there's another viewpoint outside of the skywalk, which is really pretty as well.
I just have a quick question about something you said earlier. You mentioned that there was a city that was a dark city.
Yes.
Can you explain more about that?
Yeah, so Flagstaff was the first. So first of all, Arizona has the most designation dark sky cities in the United States. In the world, we have 17 total. So Flagstaff is the city that I was talking about. It was the first dark sky city designated by the Dark Sky Association. So basically, it's a great place to see the stars. You can find a Lowell Observatory there, which has a dark sky programming. So you can go at night and watch the stars through the telescopes, which is great. So we have the Grand Canyon is a dark sky designated site as well, which is great for viewing the stars.
Great.
I should have included a picture to show you guys, but I apologize about that.
We could do some stargazing there. Okay,
yeah, you can do
great.
some stargazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Joanna, when it comes to the skywalk, how long is it? Is there a fee? And how high up is it?
So there is a fee associated. It depends. There's different price points because you can do Grand Canyon West offers other activities, like I mentioned, the whitewater rafting, the zip line. So you can sometimes package this together. If you buy a whitewater rafting tour, it would include the skywalk. But if you just want to visit skywalk, I believe is about $40 entry fee. I will go ahead and make sure of that, but it's around $40.
Okay. Somebody is asking, can you make the picture of the skywalk just a little bit bigger?
Just a little bit bigger?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see if I can go ahead and do that.
And probably because of your presentation, I'm not for sure if you can.
Yeah, maybe I can go ahead and just pull up, if that will be better, just pull up a photo.
Yeah, or they can Google. Yeah, you can pull up a photo, or we can have them Google. Yeah.
Let me go ahead. I think that would be best.
Okay.
Can you tell us what types of wine Arizona is best known for?
What kinds of wines?
Yes.
So there's tons of, I mean, it's red, white, rosés, but it's the grapes. There's very different variations that they do. I mean, all of it, if you tasted, my favorite personally is red wine, but really, I mean, and all the whites and rosés and are amazing as well. So there's different different grapes that are grown in the Sonoita and Wilcox area.
Let's talk about the spa. Are there any good spas at the hotel? Are they separate?
So
do the hotels have spas?
Yes.
Or are the spas separate?
No, hotels, there's resorts. The Phoenix and Scottsdale has the bigger concentrations of resorts here in the area. And there's, like I said, resorts are 4 to 5 stars, and they have world-class spas. So a lot of the resorts have spas in the property.
So there's a combination of both. So you can
There's a
go,
combination of both.
yeah,
There's a
yeah. So you can
picture.
stay at a hotel that doesn't have a spa and then visit a day spa, or you can
Yes.
have the hotel
Yeah,
have the spa within the home.
exactly. A lot of people love to have, accommodations where they can have a spa on the property. So
Mhm.
a lot of the resorts here in Phoenix and hotels and in Scottsdale as well have spas.
Okay.
Okay. Are there any annual powwows in the springtime?
In the springtime, yes, there is a lot of like festivals in American Indian culture. One of the, I believe the one that the Heart Museum, the one that I was talking about when I was talking about the Phoenix area, one of their biggest festivals is in the springtime. Right now with the situation, with everything going on, dates have changed, things have been rescheduled. So I would recommend going to our visitarizona.com website and go to the events page where we keep the most up-to-date information for everything, for all the events.
Okay. Is there a low incident of encountering snakes on a trip to Arizona?
There's low incident because normally when you go hiking, I mean, if you don't disturb, we're known for rattlesnakes. Since the time I've been here, I don't know, more than 10 years, and I've only heard of a handful of incidents with snakes, so it's not very common. Usually if you stick to what you're doing and don't disturb them, they'll leave you alone.
Are there any fees for stargazing?
That depends on what type of stargazing you're doing and what type of activity. For example, if you choose to go to Flagstaff and go to Lowell Observatory, there's an entry fee for the observatory. So it all depends on the programming that you're doing. Sometimes Grand Canyon also will host stargazing parties, and some of them have fees, some of they don't. So it really depends on the activity.
How long is the rodeo?
How what? I'm sorry?
It said, how long is the rodeo? So like, I guess if you went to a rodeo show, how long is it?
That depends on the show, and it normally typically goes about an hour and a half, but it depends on there's several different events that go on there. So it depends on the event itself.
Okay.
But it can range from an hour and a half.
All right. The final question I have, guys, if you have any more questions, quickly get them in a Q&A. What are the 2 resorts that tours are booked from?
What are the 2 resorts?
Oh, I think she was talking about the 2 resorts.
Up in Monument Valley?
Yeah.
So that's the Goldings Resort and the View Resort. So those are the only 2 where you can book tours for Monument Valley.
All righty. I do not have any more questions.
Okay.
Thank you so much, Joanna.
Yeah, thank you guys. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
Thank you. And for those of you who have wanted to get a bigger picture of the skywalk, you could probably just Google the skywalk. I'll try to put it into a link into a picture on the email that goes out afterwards, so you guys can take a look at that. And so now that it's over, I have one more poll for you guys. So we took a poll in the beginning, and let me see if I can do the second poll. So now that you have learned a little bit about Arizona, let me launch this poll. I want to know who wants to go on a trip to Arizona, and then when will you be ready to go? In my mind, I was thinking of spring, like Joanna mentioned, like in March sometime, but want to talk to you guys and see what are you thinking of. So the poll's open. We got some votes that are coming in, and that'll help me as I start putting together my 2021 trips as well, because
100% says yes, they want to go.
well,
Wow.
of the ones who the 8
They're
have,
here.
yeah, the ones
Mhm.
who said yeah, so the 10, so no one said no yet. All right, guys, so all I really need is a good 10 people, and I can make it happen. So we're at 12 right now, and it's kind of all over the map of when they want to go, right, Donna? You can see the poll, so they're all over.
Yeah, we're all over. The highest though is January through March. That in 2022, we had
Uh-huh.
29% on both of those.
Yeah. So like half of you guys would go early next year, and then some of you would go kind of latter in the year. So, oh Lord, I don't know when to do this trip. I don't know. And so it's like, yes, they want to go, but when do
You
but
have to
when
do some multiple
yeah. Yeah,
trips.
do I have to come back twice? You know, do I do early and then and then late? And so
Exactly.
so good. So thank you guys for sharing that. And I think I'll send another poll out after each when you get the thank you email for coming. So I'm going to end this polling here. Um, so oh, you can share results, right? I can share. I'll let you guys know.
Oh,
Can you guys see?
no.
Yeah, you can see what the result is all over. It's all over the
Great.
place. And so 15 want to go, but they're spread out. Okay. Um, so Joanna, thank you so much. How can I stop sharing that? Good. Thank you so much for sharing some fabulous information about Arizona. I learned a lot, and I'm sure my clients learned a lot as well. So thank you for sharing that. It was
Thank
very
you.
informative.
Thank
Yeah,
you for
yeah.
inviting me and giving me the opportunity to speak to your clients, and hopefully it was informative. And if I wasn't able to answer something, I mean, we can, either through you, Lori, or we can share information, more pictures. I can send you a picture of the skywalk so you can share
Okay.
with your clients. So yeah, thank you for listening and for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed it.
Okay, I'm sure we did. And also thank you for Donna for being our moderator for the call. So we appreciate your work as well. Um, and so always check out overtontravel.com to see what new trips we have available. Please fill out any surveys I send out because I'll sit in the room and I'll be making up a great trip, a trip that I think is great. Anyhow, but it's all about you. I'm trying to give you the trips that you want to go on. So I need to hear from you sometime. So thank you all for joining today. I appreciate it. Remember to come back next week. Next week we are going to St. Lucia. So we're going to have a great presentation on St. Lucia. And as you realize, kind of like the goal for the trips early on next year is to take you to places that have open spaces. Where you can breathe easily, and I'm trying to go there when there aren't a lot of crowds. So that's kind of the theme to what I'm planning for early next year. We don't want to be hip to hip with other people, and we just want to enjoy the great outdoors. Okay, thank you all for joining this Wanderlust Wednesday. Be safe, be well, and see you next week. Take care.
Thank you.